Hey Simmers, I'm back with another speed build. This is continuing our theme of apartment builds. This time I did a cyberpunk inspired apartment. I took one of the apartments in the eco living neighborhood, built a smaller box inside of it just so I could box out the windows and add the exterior door, the door and all that. A lot of what I'm using to build this is using the new Star Wars pack. Uh, I put those brighter lights in the build so that I could actually see what I was doing. You'll find that in the final build it's going to be darker and all that. I start with the kitchen. I'm playing around with a few things. I use these lighting, the neon lighting from Moschino, to create uh, the glow. You always think of, whenever I see pictures for like Cyberpunk, there's always techno neon lights, not techno lights, neon lights in the outside and all that. So I started to just kind of put things together, trying to do makeshift stuff, try to make it so that this apartment's gonna be dirty, filthy. I actually built it over 3 sessions, so there'll be spots where it kind of cuts to a new version. I want to have exposed piping. I try to use walls that look grimy, dirty, ran down, all that. Trying to find stuff to make the build look the way I want it was kind of fun. As I go along, I decide to use a few other items. Um, I've already kind of worked out what next week's uh, build tour will be. I will do a build tour of my kind of mansion for my stylus influencer sim in one of my gameplays that I'm doing. I just recently moved him out of San Manchudo to Oasis Springs, and one because he has more than enough money to be able to build a house that I want it for him. So, and I wanted to have a live-in butler and stuff like that for him, so he needed to move. One of the items I couldn't find, even with live edit objects on, is these dangling wires. I saw it in one of Miss Griffey's when she did a speed build for the Star Wars stuff. She used these wires, hanging wires. I couldn't find them. I wanted to put them in. Here's me just kind of picking out various things. I decided to use again use these chairs from Star Wars because they look beat up and dirty and grody and all that. The first area, like I said, is kind of the kitchen area. Um, this is one of the few builds I won't be posting up on the gallery as a room or anything because it is not livable. It's not usable. The sink's not usable in because of the way I put it in. There's items in front of the beds. There's items in front of furniture, so it's not a livable type build. Um, the key thing I want it with this is as you can see, I just shrink them down, hide them behind covers and all that, just to give this kind of glow. The dance floors, I like the idea of this kind of neat. It added something to the room. Here I'm kind of just building the bathroom. I decided to use the shower from Get to Work and the toilet from Eco Living because the toilet from Eco Living looks futuristic. Again, that sink is not usable, by the way. trying to find the items I wanted. I'm trying to give it a futuristic vibe, grimy vibe at the same time. Hence why there's vents everywhere, pipes exposed. There's cabinets randomly placed. Um, the way I thought about it is I thought this was kind of a cyberpunk living space. You'll find that. Excuse me, I just burped. Uh, that it was two people living in the later section. Once I get it, there's a little work area. I eventually do it. Here I'm trying to double check live edit objects and stuff like that to try to find items. Uh, but yeah, there's a few items that I decided to use. I kind of double up stuff. I thought these look really cool. They're external lights, so I shrunk them down. They're kind of like lights throughout the building. I included again, a few more Star Wars items just to because I liked how they looked. I do a few cool things. I stick these windows and then I kind of cover them up. I use one of the grimy beds from Eco Living, so one of the mattresses type things. Eventually, you'll see me divide that space. I couldn't find a way to go in it, so I just kind of use the those top railing type things. But I figured I'd grab stuff. There's a few random screens. Again, trying to make it look futuristic. Uh, Here's where I set these down because I wanted to try to make it look like the beds. So I decided to just use shelves, raised them up a bit. It took a bit to get the other side, and it actually looks like these beds are on these platforms. So I stuck some other stuff underneath. Some of the items that I wanted to use that look cool and futuristic and stuff like that, I can't because when you shrink them, the parts that kind of glow stay where they are, and it's so annoying. Yeah, here's where I kind of start covering stuff up and kind of stuff. I thought about using that light, then I'm like, no. I figured, again, you see me putting stuff under the bed, so it looks like it's being held up by something. The living space we'll eventually get to. I decided to put these covers so it looks like they're kind of built in. These shelves, I like them. They'd be like great for in garages or anything. So there are items that I will be using from Star Wars to get stuff uh, built built in. As you can see, me hiding more neon lights behind stuff, kind of give it this weird glow. At one point, I do move a sim in because I put some other lights in. I want to change the color blue and make them less bright. But you don't. I don't think I think I cut that part out. I might not have. And the whole purpose. This is me just kind of looking around, seeing how it looks with the lighting and that I decided to use. I decided to kind of make it look like a bit of a bench area here, right here. I decided to use some decoration. Here's where I use some of the beds from some benches from Star Wars to make it look like there's rolls wrapped around the outside of the mattresses. Oh, I was so proud of this. I did this so many times, just raising up, kind of fiddling to make it so it looks like it fit there. A stack of these pipes with water flowing through them. It's such a cool thing. I looked at for a few items, just kind of fit stuff together. It was all about kind of fitting stuff together and kind of making it look grimy and stuff like that. Yeah, these are the lights that I picked. and I moved the salmon to make them look blue because when you remove the bright lights, ceiling lights out, it starts to look a little too bright. Going through trying to find items to decorate the rooms with. I decided to stick this in. I also think I do grab a droid. You'll just gonna see what I do with a few things. So I have a little that little space off to the side is like a workshop area. Found the binoculars from the Star Wars thing. Yes, there's a machete under the bed. Eventually, I start grabbing items that look futuristic and techy. There's control panels in the walls, so it looks like you have to control the doors. Going through kind of making decisions as I went along. Wish I could have used that item. Uh, yeah, here's where I kind of decide that's going to be like a little work area. Just trying to find items I like. This is where I'm trying to search for the loose wires that I saw someone use, but I couldn't find them, and it was so annoying because I want some loose wires hanging off walls and stuff like that. Kind of want it, like I said, it's kind of cyberpunk post-apocalyptic looking. Uh, I use this bar because it has these all these stickers and signs on it. As you can see, I don't have many lights. I realized I had to put two items on it to fill up the spaces because they'd end up floating. Here's that red shelf makes decorating so easy. You'll see me grab the red shelf and bring it over there soon to get those helmets into the cupboards. So I figure that these people who are fighting for control, who basically fighting up. And I try to set up a few things here. Here's you see me using the red shelf to get the helmets to where I wanted them. Um, I forgot to put the lights back into the room, so I'm working in the dark. I start to use a lot of the dirt clutter from Eco Living to make the room look busy. Here's where I realized I didn't have live edge objects on, so I couldn't find what I was looking for, which is these rows that you go along like a street side to put just garbage into this place. It's a dirty, filthy build. It's supposed to be this uh, messy place. Use some of those old takeout things to put on the thing so it looks like they get food. I also figured that that large thing above the counter is a food kind of distribution type system. And here's me kind of grinding stuff up. I want to put something up there, but I would realize I'd have to fill up like 2 counters worth of stuff. So I'm like, nope. I decided to take the Android, hide it in that thing, and make it have it so it looks like this floating head and this detached head. And I figure one of them has like drones. He kind of does a bunch of the surveillance, while the other one, um, he'll get a bunch of the freeze rays. Instead of putting a chair in front of it, I decided to use some tires. This is where you start seeing me adding the spore thing from Strangerville. I add some space mushrooms in a bit. I want, like I said, I was trying to make it look like this place was filthy, dirty. Uh, that turned out pretty good. Here, and it was all about just trying to get these items. I figured they'd have a bunch of weapons, a few hidden around the place. When they're talking, As you can see, just trying to make it grimy, trying to get make it look like some they're using have some ore that they use for building the robots. Oh, this took me a long time. Trust me, what you just saw was like sped up. I took like 10, about 5 minutes trying to get that in the right spot. Figured I'd stick a random skeleton in. Here's where I start adding these mushrooms, just kind of make it stuff's growing. I didn't like how that probe thing was looking, so I took it out. Um, and unlike my usual build tour, final tours, when I did the final tour for this one, I actually start in between the two doors because seeing it from the outside kind of stood out. I again using those standing lights. It's a dark, grimy world, so it's filthy and all that. I'm actually quite happy with how this turned out. It really kind of uh, feels kind of cyberpunk, punky all that. I used the distressed linoleum from City Living because it's the only floor that looks kind of destroyed. Threw some stains on the walls. I like the distress look. Put a few charging ports out. So we'll be moving slowly into our. I stick some surveillance cameras in there. And yes, there's one in the bathroom. Figured some those swords when I saw them, they made me. I'm like, yeah, we need those on the wall. Uh, kind of put generator. And here we're going into the tour. Like I said, we start in between the two doors, so we come into it. It's dark. It's grimy. It looks post-apocalyptic, cyberpunkish. I think it turned out well. Again, like I said, it's not a usable build, so I won't be posting it, but it's was fun doing it. So until Monday's build tour, leave a like, leave a comment, and susu!